Hey there guys, it's TJ. About 1 year ago when I bought the Sony a6500, I posted a pic on Instagram with the caption, "Bye bye Canon, see you when you catch up." Has that moment finally arrived? Okay, so Canon just released their first actual serious mirrorless camera, the Canon EOS R. And although I was really excited to hear about it because it looked promising, I'm a little disappointed. So here are my first impressions of the Canon EOS R. Don't get me wrong, this camera has a lot of nice features. One of which is the flip out LCD screen from Canon. It's just amazing, I love it. Other good news is the new lens system. And although you might not find that to be good news since it's a new system and you need new lenses, there will also be adapters, so you will be able to adapt EF lenses on this system. But that new mount, it looks cool. The animations look really nice. I don't really know what they all mean, but they look cool, and it looks like there's a really good connection between body and lens to give information from one to another, which is a good idea. And they use the dual pixel autofocus that we used from Canon, which is just really good quality. So that all sounds really good. But does that mean that this camera is a really good competitor to the Panasonic line and to the Sony line? Well, here are all of the things that seem to be wrong with this camera. The first thing, and this is the thing that immediately got me, no, I don't want this camera. There's 4K, 30 FPS, there's 1080p, 60 FPS, and then there's 720p, 120 FPS. I don't want to shoot 720p anymore. I'm used to 4K, 720p is off the limits. So they just should have gone for 120 FPS, 1080p. And 60p 4K if you want to compete with other brands. And then there is no in-body image stabilization. There is electronic image stabilization, but that's not the same. It's something that we're pretty much used to with a lot of mirrorless cameras these days. Then there is the low light performance, and it goes from 100 ISO to 40,000 ISO, which on paper looks good, but we'll have to see how it performs. My guess is that it isn't going to perform as well as Sony. There is only one SD card slot, and which bodies that cost as much as this one does will come to the price soon. One SD card slot is not enough. But then the biggest gripe with all of the internet right now and all of the industry right now is that the 4K crops to 1.7. So you don't at all get full frame 4K. It crops to even more than on my Sony crop camera. People try to explain that you should look at this camera like it's a crop camera that does 4K, but it isn't even that because it crops to 1.7, which is quite a major drop. I mean, crop, damn. And then let's talk about the new lenses real quick as well, because they look nice, but they also look really big. It's cool from Canon that they came up with a 20-8-70 f2. It's a really fast lens and it seems to be great, but it's probably really expensive as well. In fact, all of these new lenses are. But a lot of people buy mirrorless cameras because they're a little smaller. It's a jet of a lens. Put it on your mirrorless camera and it will dwarf your camera. This setup won't be small, it won't be small at all. And yes, you could adapt EF lenses, so you could adapt a 50mm EF 1.8 lens, which is really cheap, but you still have to put the adapter between it, so it will take up more size than probably your Canon 6D or something like that. So it looks like they're gonna be great lenses, but they're gonna be really big and really expensive. But now that we're talking about adapters, the adapters look really cool. Especially for me, the one with ND, it looks awesome. I wish I would have ND on a small camera like I have right now, so I could just adjust it right on the go, but I don't. This adapter could solve that for a lot of people. You just slide it into the adapter and then you can twist it so that it becomes stronger. This overall seems like a really nice in-between from a cinema camera to a little camera that doesn't have that feature at all. So hey, there's one more plus next to all the bad things I just said about this camera. I'm just a little disappointed. I always thought that when Canon would start competing with Sony and Panasonic in the mirrorless game, they would smash them. and they're not doing that right now. Anyway, that's my opinion. I'm also interested in yours, so definitely leave that in the comments down below. Also check out my other videos, you'll maybe be interested in them. If you are, consider subscribing, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.